the sophistication of robotics and AI technologies will inevitably lead to their weaponization. The danger inherent in AI lies in the absence of ethical codes. Without them, humanity may find itself on a path to self-destruction driven by the hubris of greed. AI also challenges the scientific community to reconsider the notion of the supreme being. And this is what they don't want us to think about. But AI technology is leading to scientists asking that maybe AI needs an ethical code. It needs to believe that there is some good somewhere, and it needs to be premised on an algorithm or a program that will be able to guide it. And if you are making that argument for an artificial intelligence, how can you make that argument for a human intelligence? But they will tell you everything lies on humanity. Now let's talk about missions. The prospects of AI and missions. Recently, I had the chance to do a podcast, and I can send it on the Gema platform. I think I did, but I can send it again. And I interviewed a young missionary brother who came to Ghana. He should be in his late 20s. And I asked him, what do you do? And he said, virtual reality is now that you can be, you can put on the headset and you'll be in a 3D space. You can look up, you can look around, you can walk to a chair, you can pick a bottle, you know. So that's a virtual reality environment. And he said he's a pastor in Darth Vader. The other time, you know, Darth Vader is Star Wars. Those of you who, you know, Darth Vader came into, and I was preaching to this brother. Darth Vader came to sit down and he was listening to, and again, to make you understand how important what he was saying is that right now there's an age group, you know, but the whole thing about the social media, virtual reality, is that it's going to use that they can't share. So when they come into the space as whatever, they're able to share. We're able to preach to them the gospel. I leave that to your judgment. But I want to round up because of time. Anything. But it's also a space where you can make anyone be anything. It's a space that applies not just the simple senses of visual, of 2 or 3, you know, audiovisual. They can more or less control you. And that's why they're having a conference today to determine what should we regulate. If anyone has the power to create an algorithm that influences people and the way they act. The reason why this is a question we need to be asking ourselves is that mankind hasn't fared well with technology. Anytime we have gained access to technology, we have, it's not a mere product of wishful thinking that prominent figures like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg have raised concerns about. AI is venturing into a metaphysical realm where emotions, feelings, and thoughts, and the very building blocks, we are walking on water or fire and skies. But what if the miracles are now redefined and manipulated by what you see, power, so that your faith might rest not on wisdom of men, but on the power of God. Artificial intelligence wisdom. That your faith was not premised on artificial intelligence, but was premised on the spirit of power and of mind. You know, Paul understood rhetoric and how philosophers in those times used words to influence people, and that's what he was talking about here. In the same way, if we are going to apply the tools of technology, how can we use it? Will there be a day where through AI preachers are able to collect the perfect information for an audience or congregation? What if they do not need a preacher anymore? With deep faith and synthetic media, we have online services and meta universe. Why would these machines be 100 times better than the regular preacher? They will understand your psychology, your psychological information around the bush. The question is, will they make you seek more of God or more of a God? Where scripture becomes an emotional high. After all, isn't that what most of the churches and conferences are saying, rather than spiritual discourse? Finally, food for thought. Every single technology that has been invented by man has eventually pushed man to play God. Of gunpowder, which granted military superiority and godlike power on the battlefield. Technology has consistently propelled us into godlike roles. The development of the steam engine during the Industrial Revolution allowed us to making us master progress. Throughout history, technology has fueled our inner desire to transcend our limits. In the darkest chapters of history, technology was harnessed in nefarious purposes. During the transatlantic slave trade, technological innovations in ship design, navigation, and weaponry enabled mass transportation of human beings under brutal conditions, where we must grapple with the ethical and moral implications of technological progress. AI, with its capacity to understand human emotions, thoughts, and even predict actions, presents a potential for unprecedented influence and manipulation. It forces us to once again contemplate the line between human and divine, as we create entities that seem capable of playing God in terms of one's thoughts in unique ways. Now, the question I leave with you today is it okay to play God just because we want to point others to God? The question of whether it's okay to play God is the pursuit of pointing others to God is going to be complex. And actually, no. Sorry, I missed that. So this question that I just asked you, I asked AI. So let me read what AI said. The question of whether it's okay to play God in pursuit of pointing others to God is a complex and nuanced ethical issue. Here are a few key considerations. Intent matters, ethical boundaries matters, respect for free will, theological perspective, context of faith and spirituality is highly dependent on one's ethical framework, religious beliefs and intentions. It's a topic that has been debated for centuries and continues to be a subject of discussion and reflection. It's essential for the individual and organizations to approach this issue with humility, empathy, and ethical discernment, keeping in mind the diverse perspective and values of those they seek to guide and inspire. That sounds very intelligent, but I'm like, okay, so if you have to be careful if the person is a Christian or it's not a Christian, it's a Muslim, the person is gay rights, gay rights, all those things it's a contextual issue, and that's what AI stands for. I'm going to do an exercise quickly and we'll end. I want 3 random words, okay, from the audience, and we will generate a poem and see how that will go. So if you can volunteer just a word or a phrase that pertains to Africa, the guys in there would help us generate something nice. So any volunteer, first word? Unreached people. You are being very missiological. But that is good. Okay, we'll put unreached people. So did you hear the first word, unreached people? My brother? Origin. Origin. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Origin. A lady's voice. A lady. Arise. Okay, now because unreached is related to missions, I will change that. So let's take another word. Resources. Origins, resources, and unreached people. Did you get that? All right, so ask AI to give us a poem using these 3 words. And then when you are ready, you project it for us and then play the background music number 3. So let's see what it comes up with. And I want to make a point with that, then I'll close. Then we can go into group discussions. Ephraim, are we there?